I think we're live. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Heather Nichols, and it has been a while. So it's so good to see you, and hopefully our connection is good today. We did some testing, and it seems like we're good to go. So I might be back, you guys. I might be back. So, and if you joined me the last time, Hazel is not in the building at this point, so she's doing well. I know many of you have asked me about her, and she is doing great. So I hope you are all doing well. It's great to see all of you. Yeah, a lot of you are saying it's been a long time with no Heather Lives. It's been since August, you guys. It's been quite a long time. So I hope you're doing well. It was so great to see so many of you at Stamp Joy. My daughter was there, so if you came to Stamp Joy, you probably met my daughter too. We had a great class. It was so much fun to see all of you. Good morning, everybody. I see you all popping in, and it's so good to see all of you. So, like I said, cross our fingers, everything does good. Whitney and I have been testing this week, and we think we got it. So, I'm glad to see you today, and welcome, everybody. So, gosh, we've had an exciting week as far as weather, not really weather, but nature things in actually the whole country, Minnesota especially, the Northern Lights. Somebody says they can see me, but they can't hear me. As far as what I see on my end, everything seems to be fine as far as my volume. So yes, good morning, Whitney. It's good to see you. Good morning, Deneen. It's good to see you. Yeah, I'm not sure about the person who can't hear me. Nobody else seems to be saying that. I have missed you guys too. So, but yeah, we've had the Northern Lights this week, and I know many of you across the country got to experience it as well. I am lucky to have seen them numerous times in my life. But we had quite the show on Tuesday night, and I know I shared on my stories. So many people shared. They're just amazing. Every time I see them, I can't get over how amazing they are. Yes. So I hope you got to enjoy them, or at least enjoy the beautiful pictures people have shared this week. It's nice and cold. It's definitely fall. It's definitely going to be winter. So I'll give you a little update too. You guys know I'm staying with my mom right now. This is my kind of temporary location, and my house is in progress of being built. So that is happening right now. So in the next several months, I'll make the move to the new place and set up my studio, and I'll share that definitely with all of you. Okay, good. Everybody, other people are saying that they can hear me, so I'm not sure. Awesome. Again, I am so glad to be here. So let's talk about what's going on in Tailored Expressions land. It is the season of crafting this week, and you guys have been enjoying some incredible sales and being able to purchase gifts, stock up on things, get your crafty supplies so that you can create gifts. This is a great time to do that this week. We have a different category each day. You've heard everybody talking about that for sure. And today's category is stencils and paste. So we are going to create with stencils and paste today. And the 30% off runs to like 8:59 Central Time tomorrow morning, and then it will flip to the next one, which I believe tomorrow is dies, which we are going to be cutting. So maybe you'll be inspired by some of the die cutting that we're doing today for your projects. So yeah, so let's do that. What else is going on? How many of you are signed up for Virtual Stamp Joy? I know I got to see many of you in person at regular Stamp Joy, but Virtual Stamp Joy is the next best thing, and that is coming up in March. And the time for the early bird registration is getting short. It's through Monday. So make sure if you want to join us and you save to sign up, I'd love to see you there. And you can still register. I believe it goes into January, or if we sell out our spots, because there's a point where we have to get all those supplies ready to send you all out. So until that sells out, or it's a date in January. So you still definitely have time. Put it on your Christmas list. Lots of people who want to know what you want for Christmas. So yay, lots of people signed up for that. I hope to see you there. I know we have some in-studio people coming as well that I'm sure I'll see you, because I will be there. If not, I'll see you guys all online at that event with Taylor and Lori and Jill, and it'll be a great time. So let's get to crafting today, and let's create with stencils. So I am gonna flip down. You guys, I have my camera flipped down. We have this so figured out. So here we go. Down on my desk, I have a cute little gift card holder. That is definitely something that with the holidays coming up that you're going to want to get your hands on, because I don't know about you, but I do give gift cards quite a bit to people. and I love different ways to package these up. So we're gonna create with this gift card wallet, and we're gonna do some stenciling. So my gift card maybe is a little bit niche as far as for people who love books and reading, but I am a huge book and reading fan. So I'm gonna open that up. Got my little Barnes & Noble gift card in there, and there we go. So I did my wallet a little bit different than maybe it was kind of designed to do. You might have seen it before where it was more flip up this way and then this little piece stands up, but I wanted it to be more because of the size of the books. I wanted it to open this way and slide that way. So that gives you another option of how to do that gift card thing. So that's one way to do a gift card, and we're gonna create this today. Another idea is if you have seen, oops, I'm throwing dies around. This is the pocket tag. So that's what that looks like. So if you are looking for a really fun, easy way to do a tag, this one isn't as involved as the gift card wallet that we're gonna do today, but you've got a pocket there so you can tuck your little gift card right into the tag. I also played around with adding a bookmark in there, and it's not quite where I want it to be. So I took that bookmark and I trimmed it down shorter so that it would fit in that pocket, but it's not where I want it to be yet. So I'm working on that still, but that's how you can include a bookmark into that as well. But again, you can also just tuck your little gift card right into the pocket as well. All right, so let's get crafting with this. We're gonna pull out that Treat Yourself layering stencil set, which again, 30% off today. This came out in January as a part of a kit, and then it was released this summer with, I believe it was in August. Actually believe this is the last thing I was crafting with you guys, the last time I saw you. So we're gonna do that again. It's a 4-layer stencil that creates 2 stacks of books, and then there's a few extra little pieces up there to have a cat, a mug, a light, a candle, and then we've released a couple of accessory sets. We had a school-themed set, and then today we're gonna do the Christmas-themed set. I'll give you a little peek of what that is. So you can add these to your little book stacks so that you can be all set for the holidays. So let's start off by doing stenciling with the books, and then we'll do the little Christmas accessories, and then we'll put that gift card wallet together. So let's start here with stencil number 1. And I'm not gonna stencil these top pieces. I'm only gonna stencil the book stacks on the bottom. So I did cut a 6x6 piece of sugar cube cardstock, but you definitely only have to cut a piece of cardstock that's just the height of the books, because we're really not gonna use that, but I'm just gonna leave it as is for this. You can either use magnets to hold your stencils in place, tape. I love pixie spray, that is my favorite. So I'm gonna spray a thin layer of that on the back of my stencil. And let's just get that lined up on that piece of cardstock. So let's see, what colors are we starting off with? I did kind of a holiday color combo that's maybe a little bit out of the box for what I would normally do. I think I've got, what did I do here? Jujube. I call it jujube, you guys. I think when I looked it up, I think jujube is how you're supposed to say it, but I also saw that if you're from the Midwest, you say jujube, and I'm very much from the Midwest. So you'll hear me probably say it that way. So I've got Brussels sprout, spearmint, jujube, and pink champagne. So kind of a pinky, a little bit non-traditional for me. I am typically red and green, pretty solid. I don't tend to go into the pinks for the holiday, but I thought this was a fun idea to try. Let's start off with Brussels sprout ink. Grab my bitty blender brush for that. And like I said, we're just gonna do the book stack. So when I'm doing this, I'm gonna make sure that I get my guides right here. I'm not gonna worry too much about anything up here because this is enough to get everything lined up down here. All right, so we're just gonna use that bitty blender brush to put that Brussels sprout color in. I think I would say that my favorite green that's going on right now is green tea, and I know I've said that before. Brussels sprout is probably my dark green. I think they are just a little touch muted as compared to some of the other greens, which is something I definitely gravitate towards. If you're not, we definitely have lots of bright greens and things like that for you to use. So let's get that Brussels sprout on there. Making sure I'm getting in those little square guides. Not only are those going to line up the images when we're stenciling, but it's also going to be a tool to use when we die cut. Yeah, we'll talk about jujube here, jujube, when we get there. I think part of it is there's that, isn't there candy called jujubes or juju, whatever? It wasn't one that I ate often, but it was one I knew about. So you can get fancy. I'm just gonna do kind of solid color, but if you wanna get into blending, you absolutely could add more shading and stuff. When we're getting into the Christmas season, we know we have that precious time if you're making multiples, so you can decide how detailed you want to get with all of that. All right, layer number 2, we are going to do, I'm going to line up the squares. So I'm lining up those squares, but I'm also looking at the stencil and how it's falling on the image, and there's always just a tiny peak of color that kind of shows on the edges, and that is what you want. Okay, so we are gonna do the jujube next. This red surprised me as far as how much I love it. I guess when I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's just kind of a burgundy color. It's pretty close to like a mulled wine, but it's not, if that makes sense. It is, I don't know, a pretty kind of almost a barn red. It's just got that little bit more brown in it. I don't know. It's just a beautiful red color. So I'm just starting kind of off on the stencil because it is pretty intense color. So if I go kind of directly into my stencil, it sometimes gets too much ink there and I might have a little bit of bleeding. So I'm just kind of starting off to the side of those stencil openings and then going in. Yeah, it's just a really pretty red. I would say if I'm looking at like clothes, I don't typically wear bright reds, but I like these kind of rusty, muted red colors. It's so pretty. Okay, so there's the jujube. Then, so our book stacks are starting to take shape there. Let's go to stencil number 3. Some pixie spray on that and line that up. And again, I'm lining up those squares and I'm just looking with my eyes to make sure everything seems to make sense where it's all landing. Okay, so the other green I'm going to use is Spearmint. This is one I don't go to often, but I do love. I love the soft kind of bluish tones that it has. I like pairing it with like poblano pepper, like using this as my light layer and then poblano pepper for adding a little bit of shadow to that. So this is definitely a little bit more green with a little bit more blue in it. Softer color. It goes on kind of dark, but it definitely backs and lightens up. Oh, you guys, I have missed doing lives too, and I'm hoping this means I am back on a regular basis. If everything seems to be going just fine, which I feel really good about. So there's that spearmint. I don't think I told you guys, I think you all remember. I did illustrate this set too. Okay, so there's that spearmint. Our last color is pink champagne. This is my favorite pink out of all of the pinks. I mean, I'm not generally a pink, I don't gravitate towards pink, but when I pick pink, this is the pink I go for. The other pinks are fine. I think this one has a little bit peachy tone to it, which I like. It goes beautiful with guava, which I love guava. All right, let's line up that last stencil. So we're gonna do our 2 stacks of books, and then we're going to do the little Christmas accessories. Get all our stenciling done first. There's that pink champagne. I will say too, as far as like, I drink a little wine. I'm sure some of you do too, but I am definitely more of a sweeter wine, a fruitier wine person. I like a Moscato. One of the wines that I really like right now is a peach wine, and it is kind of this color. It's just got a tinge of kind of a pinky peach color to it. It's good. It's very good. Well, you guys, thank you guys for all of the kind words about missing seeing me. I have missed you too. All right, so there is our finished stacks of books. Now they look pretty plain right now, but when we get to cutting them out, the dies cut out the details on there. So it adds the little pages for the books, and it adds some details on the spines of the books. And so it just really will help bring this whole little stack of books to life. So we're gonna cut those out in just a minute, but let's go ahead and do the little Christmas accessories that are gonna go along with it. I have a few of them that I did before. So we have, let's see, there are, hold on, let me grab my stencil set. There are, I want to say 6 little things on here. So you have a pair of presents, a Christmas tree, a star, a Santa hat. That's what this is up here. Oh, there's one more stencil. There's 3 stencils in this set. A Santa hat, a bow, and then this little, I think this is my favorite, the little cup of cocoa with the little candy cane. Isn't it the cutest? I love it. Okay, so let's stencil those. And that stencil is sized for an A2 size of cardstock. So we're just going to set this aside, and we're going to cut that out in a little bit. We'll probably splatter first. Have you missed my splattering? Okay, so stencil number 1 is this one, and we're going to do this one in Jujube, the whole thing. These little images are far enough apart, so if you wanted to do some different colors, it's very easy to do that. But like I said, this first layer is all going to be Jujube. Where did my blender brush for Jujube go? There we go. So let's get that Santa hat. And I can hit the bottom of the hat with just a little bit extra ink to add just a touch of shading to that. This is the little bow center. We've got the little cocoa cup, a little present, and then don't forget to get those guides on the side so that you can get everything lined up perfectly. Just hit this with just a little touch of shading. So I'm just hitting just a little extra color here at the bottom of this gift, just like I hit the bottom of the Santa hat. So I'm using the one color, but I am adding just a touch of shadowing. Taylor has been carrying the splattering torch in my absence. Oh. We splattered at Stamp Joy, so I had some fun with that with everybody that was in my class. Right, stencil number 2. We we are going to use the Brussels sprout for most of it, and then we have to do this little fluffy band on Santa's hat, and that I don't want that to be green. So we are going to do that in a different color. So let's grab the Brussels sprout and we'll do the green parts here. So we've got the tree, we've got that other present, and we've got the cup. So again, this is where you can, if you wanted your cup to be for a different color, there's plenty of room where you're not gonna have to mask off those other things. I'm just gonna do green because I love a little green and red cup for Christmas. Do that little present. I love you guys are strategizing your purchases. You have your lists all made out. All right, let's add just a touch of extra color to the bottom of the cup and just a touch of extra color to the bottom of that present, maybe even the tree, just a little bit at the bottom. Like that. And then for the little Santa's hat, I'm going to use royal icing. That's that new blue that came out this summer. I love it because, so first of all, when this came out, this to me, this is the Martha Stewart color. It just is. This is her blue, isn't it? And I love the lightness of it, and it's perfect for shadowing. So I'm just going to use my little detail blender brush, and we're just going to kind of go around the outside edge of the little hat pom-pom and the hat brim, just to kind of get that little scallop detail with a little bit of shadow. And there are other colors that work good too, like the lighter grays, like saltwater taffy. That's not gray, that's blue. But sea salt, that's the one I was thinking of, the gray one. But that's gonna give you that perfect shadow on that hat. Marcy, this is Heather Nichols. There is that little hat brim, and then we've got our greens right there. And then let's pull that last stencil, which I have, there it is right here. I have misplaced. Got some jujube on there. So we'll line that up again with the guides. And we're gonna pull that pink champagne. So we're gonna do most of it in pink champagne, this bottom part, but then I'm do the two stars here, we're gonna do sweet corn. But let's start with the pink. Do pink for that tree base, pink champagne for the bow. We're gonna add a touch of jujube just for some blending on the bow so we don't have such a bright red bow center, if that makes sense. The candy cane, so I've got a pink and red candy cane. And then the bows on the gifts. So that's my pink. Let's get a touch of red in there for that bow, and then we'll do the yellow stars. So I'm just gonna hit just the center of that bow. That's all I need. And then the final color would be the sweet corn for the stars. All right, just get those stars with a touch of that sweet corn yellow. And on this layer, we're gonna add a bit of sparkle with some of the Happy Medium. If you take a look at my little pieces here, you can see I've got some bit of glitter there on my pink layer. So when you do the pastes or the mediums, you generally want to do that on your last layer, or you can take it off and replace the stencil on top, but you want to do that last, because if you have wet gel on your piece and you haven't finished stenciling, it's going to just make a great big mess, pretty much. So this is the Happy Medium Gold Glitter. This has been a go-to for me lately, just to add that shimmer to the pieces. And when you put it on, you just want to make sure it's evenly spread through the stencil. But when you dry, it'll flatten right to the cardstock. So it doesn't really stick up when it's dried. It lays down, or it flattens down with the image. So just remember that when you're using these glitter mediums here. There are definitely pastes and other things that are more dimensional and stand up. I'm not going to do the bow. I'm just going to do, I've got the ribbons on the presents here, the candy cane, the little bottom of the tree, and the stars. And let me grab a paper towel here so we can wipe this up. This is something you definitely want to get cleaned off of your stencil as soon as you can. If you're not near a sink or anything like that, you can just wipe it with a paper towel. I'll show you that in a second. So let's remove this to get a final look at our Christmas little accessories for our book stack. So there's that. You can see the little bits of sparkle that I have going on there. And of course, now you're gonna need to let this Happy Medium dry completely. At least an hour, I found, is what you need. A lot of times I'll do this and walk away and come back like the next day or several hours later or something like that. All right, so let me just wipe this off here so I can get that off. So I take the majority of this off just with a paper towel. Like I said, you can run this under a sink as well. But once I get that off, I'm not going to clean all my stencils. I'll just clean this one right here. I'll clean my other stencil later. So I'm just spraying the alcohol onto the stencil. And you can see really most of that Happy Medium comes right off with wiping it with a paper towel to get that excess off, and then cleaning up the rest. Okay, so I did that one before, so I have one that's all dried and ready to go. So we have all of our Christmas accessories, and we have our books. So we should do a little splattering because that's just what we like to do, right? So I've got my water brush here. So this little palette, this is that mini glass mat, and I have the chocolate truffle liquid watercolor on there, and there's definitely plenty on there for me to pick up with my water brush. Even though it's dried on there, I can reactivate it with water and use it. So this is just on my desk all of the time. So I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to add a little bit of splatter. I love things to have a little bit more rustic touch. I love the texture that splattering adds. It's not for everybody. So if you don't want to splatter, you definitely don't need to splatter. You can leave everything as is. I'm going to get a little bit more on that bow. There we go. And I'm going to rinse that brush off. You can use a regular paintbrush with water. I like to use this water brush. And then I love to also add splatters with the white. So the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White. And my Bleed Proof White, even if it dries, it reactivates with water. So I usually pick up the color, I get it going on my lid. You can use the mini glass mat for that, or another surface. And then I'm just going to add splatters with that Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White ink. And splatters are unpredictable. You just have to embrace where they go and what happens. This might look like a lot of splatter on here, but once we cut out, I mean, this is all going to get cut away. So really it's just going to be the little bit of touch of splatter that's on those tiny little things. Yeah, I love using my glass mat and just leaving it because it's just ready for you. Especially I splatter a lot, and so it's just dedicated to splattering, which works well for me. I'm just getting the rest of that white out of my brush here. You don't want that white to dry in your brush. It's going to cause more problems. Okay, so now let's do some die cutting to cut out our pieces. I did already cut out the pieces for the gift card wallet. We'll talk about that in a second, but we'll get these cut out for our project. So I'm just gonna slide my inks over here, get them out of the way. Get my die cut machine. I am in a place where new plates are going to be on my shopping list real soon. Okay, so let's grab the dies for the books, which is in that Treat Yourself die set, on sale tomorrow. I'm just going to cut these apart. Sometimes I just like to do my die cutting separately. You could definitely lay out all your die cut pieces on here. I just like doing them one at a time. Okay, again, the little square guides that we use to line up that color. And then we're going to use those guides again, and you're just going to center that square inside those little pieces there. Grab some tape to tape that in place. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Line up those little squares right in the guides. All right, now we're going to send those through and cut them out. Use my camera shaking. So there you can see all of the details, the little book pages, and there are the little details cut into the spines that add and just bring this little stack of books to life. All right, let's get this off up here. Get my little Kraft pick so I can get that out of there. There's that smaller stack of books. And then let's cut out our little Christmassy things. Let me find the die set for that. Now this one comes a stencil and die combo. So the stencil and stuff comes with. So it is on sale today and the dies come with it. So these dies aren't separate. And I know what I said, I like to cut things apart, but I'm gonna do these all together. I think it kind of depends on what it is, quite honestly. So we've got the presents. You've got the tree. We've got the star. Now some of the ideas that we had around the Christmas set too is you kind of could decorate your stack of books like it was kind of a book tree. So put the star on the top, or have it like a book stack presents. So put the bow on the top. You can just have a lot of fun with how you use these cute little extra holiday images with your books. And of course, these little images are adorable just for other Christmas projects. I mean, this little tag pocket, it's just a little tree and presents, and those are perfect for just on their own as well. I feel like I need tape for this hat, another piece. And we got the bow. Oh, Galen, you're asking about an update on my home. It is in progress. It is, we don't quite have walls yet, but we have our foundation in, our plumbing in, our septic system is in. We were up there last weekend to check it all out. It's looking great. Our driveway is all in. We have quite a long driveway because our house is going to be in the woods. So that's going to be interesting when the snow happens, but we have plans for having somebody come and plow, so we should be good. I'll get my daily exercise and walking to the mailbox. I'm just going to say that. It's gonna be fun. We're so excited. Okay, so there's all those cute little Christmas accessories. So let's put this aside and then let's work on the gift card wallet. And like I said, I cut out the pieces for that beforehand because there are a few pieces to cut out. I'm just gonna move that. Let me grab those. Okay, so let's look at the die set for the gift card wallet because it's not intuitive, I don't think, as far as how you go together. We definitely have videos and that sort of thing to help you do it, and once you know how it works, it's really easy, but when you first look at it, you're like, what? How does this work? I had to ask. So we've got kind of the main piece of the gift card wallet, and you're going to want to cut 2 of those. So I have 2 of those cut out of green tea cardstock. Then there are a few decorative pieces. So this piece is actually going to go, will become what is the holder part of on the holder piece, and to add a little decorative touch, there's that piece, and I cut that out of Brussels sprout cardstock. And then there's a decorative piece for the flap, so I cut that out of Brussels sprout cardstock. And then there's a decorative piece for the rectangle panel, and I have that cut out of Toffee cardstock. So the biggest thing to remember is that you need to cut out this big piece twice. There are some extra pieces on here. There's a slit if you don't want to use a magnet or Velcro to tuck your gift wallet closed. There's a little decorative piece that you can use on the front part of the wallet as well. So there's several examples of this on the website and everything. And I know this has been out for, I think, a couple of years, and so there's lots of ideas out there, things you guys have made and also things our design team has made with the wallet. Okay, so let's start. We're going to add a little bit of stamping to this, and then there's something else that we have to do to that. So I am adding some stamping to this with this is the dotted Snowfall background to add a little bit of snowy Christmas winter texture to the gift card wallet. You could stencil on these, you can leave them plain. It's up to you. Stamp on them, use a background stamp, use single stamps and stamp all over. It's totally up to you how you want to customize your gift card wallet. Okay, so I need green tea ink, and we're going to stamp that onto that piece. I'm going to kind of plan where I want it to stamp. So first I'm going to ink this up with the green tea ink. And then this piece is going to be, will not show on this is going to be the inside, if that makes sense. So I really just need my pattern to go on this piece and this piece. So I'm just going to line that up on the stamp and set it down. I put some adhesive here, and I'm just going to close that way to pick up that piece. It's already stamped a bunch on there. I probably could have set this up before I inked up my stamp, but that's okay. And then we're going to stamp on that piece. So there's that. Then we're going to do the same with the other piece, but one of the pieces we're going to cut this flap off, so we're not so worried about exactly where that is going to go this time, if that makes sense. We really just need the pattern to stamp on the rectangle pattern. You'll see here in just a second. In the way. Stay over here. There we go. All right, so we've got these 2 panels with the little snowflake background. We're also going to stamp the little decorative flap and the little pocket piece, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna tape them down. I know kind of where that image is gonna stamp. So So I'm just gonna adhere them just right down, and this time we're gonna stamp that with the Brussels sprout ink to match that Brussels sprout cardstock. There we go. Got our kind of little 2 decorative pieces to add on the inside. One more piece we're gonna do. I got fancy with all the extra things. I'm gonna grab my die cut machine again. And then for that Toffee piece that I said was for the rectangle panel, we're gonna emboss that with the tiny Twinkles embossing folder. So let's take a look at that sample again. And that is what I did there. So basically I'm getting all my pieces ready to assemble. I've got my little Christmas things. We got stamped some sentiments there as well. This is my top favorite embossing folder. It's great for the holidays. It goes all throughout the year. These little Twinkles are so versatile. I love that it's random. It's easy to, you don't have to line anything up, you just go. There's our little textured piece of cardstock ready to go. So let's pull this apart, or let's move that, not pull it apart. Put it down. All right, let's put the gift card holder together, and then we'll work on adding the presents and decor. So you'll need to take one of your pieces and cut that flap off with your paper trimmer. So with my Fiskars cutter, I'm just lining that little guide right up with that little score line there, and we're just cutting it off like that. So this is just extra. So then let's get some folding kind of figured out. Let's fold that flap down, and then we're gonna fold this piece up. This is the part that's gonna hold the gift card. And again, you want that pattern to be on the outside. So let's fold this one. So this is what it looks like. I have this piece here, and then I have this piece here. We are going to adhere these 2 pieces together, and actually I'm gonna fold this down. Now if I was doing the regular gift card wallet, this is what it's gonna look like, where it's, when you open it up, your gift card just kind of stands up. But I'm gonna do it this way, and I want this to lay down. So I'm actually going to adhere this flat here so that we have more of a little book situation where you're opening it up like that. So, and I guess you could do it either way. Like if you wanted your gift card to be over here, you could do that, and then you could put your decorative or your sentiment here. So it's totally up to you. For me, I felt like the gift card should be over here. So that's how I did it. So we're gonna use some tape. I'm gonna use the kind of more sticky tape. This is the 1/8 inch one. And you're not gonna tape the whole thing, because remember, this is a pocket. So just along the bottom edge and up the sides. You can also use a liquid glue to do this, whatever you feel holds the best. This is definitely the part that you want to stay together. Basically, we're going to line that up. We want to make sure it's going to close. I'm going to just rescore that so everything lays flat. So now I've got it to where this, but then I also want to adhere this down. So I also grabbed the little bit wider sticky tape whatever adhesive you want to use. This one just has a little bit more grab to it. All right, and then like I said, I wanted this to lay flat, so I'm just going to lay that down like that. So there I have kind of my base for my gift card. Let's put in those decorative pieces. I have this piece here. And that lines up with a little bit of a border around it. And I have this piece here. Now, if you're using a sticker magnet, you could definitely hide the magnet underneath this little decorative flap. I'm not too worried about hiding it because you're gonna see it over here anyway. So there's those two pieces. So I'm basically getting it ready. I've got my outside and now we're getting that inside. And then this piece is gonna go right in here. All right, so this is where I'm gonna add the little magnet piece in there. So there was a slit in that die set, so you could always cut a slit and then your little flap would tuck into that slit. You could use a piece of Velcro. You could just use a piece of ribbon and tie this shut. I'm using, these are the basic gray magnetic discs. We carry them. They come like this. You're gonna need a negative and a positive. And I usually get one of each and I stick them together. I'm gonna add it to, whoop, almost pulled out all the adhesive. That's not good. Stick it right there, kind of at that top there. Take off this part of the paper covering of that other side. And then I'm just gonna press and close it where I want it to go. And then my pieces are lined up just perfectly. Like that. All right, so here I've got my base and now we can add our cute little books and stuff in there. Let's go back to the books and let's add sentiments to them. So I've got my mini Misty here and I've got my foam insert because I grabbed the Itty Bitty Sentiments holiday stamp set. So this has just some cute little tiny sentiments that are perfect for holiday projects. I'm just gonna hold this in place with a magnet. So for this one, this is the one that's gonna go on the outside. I'm grabbing A Gift for You. I'm just gonna overlap the book pieces, just like that. And the clear stamps are pretty easy to line up. I'm noticing I definitely stenciled my colors in a different order here for this project, but that's totally fine. You can do them in whatever order. And then the ink I'm going to stamp with is that Nocturne VersaFine Clair. You just need a light touch with these tiny little stamps, so just barely ink, barely push. There is the sentiment on that stack of books. So here, let me show you the one here. So you can see I definitely switched my color order around when I stenciled, which is totally fine. Just gives you a totally different look with the same colors. And then we've got our stack of books that's going to go on the inside. And on this one, I used Merry Christmas. So let's find that one. So again, I'm just going to hold this in place in my Misty. Got that foam insert in there for the clear stamps. And let's see about where did I put that. Put that right about there. And there's our little Merry Christmas. Pull my stamp off my Misty here so I don't lose it. These tiny little stamps, put them back where they go. let's pull everything together here. So I'm going to put that taller book stack on the inside, and then I'll just lay out the one example that I showed. So I did the tree. Where did I put my little die cut pieces now? I feel like these are my ones from before. There they are. Hold on. So I'm going to attach this book stack in with just that thin, a thin foam strip. Let me grab that. This is the one that's the like 1/32 wide, or thick, I should say. Stick our little stack of books in there. So one of the things that is a tradition for me to do with my family on Christmas Eve is I get them Christmas jammies. Well, not necessarily Christmas jammies, but pajamas. And then also I look for a book for everybody. I just feel like that's a really fun Christmas gift. It's just been a tradition in our family I just decided to start it, and it still is going. I'm adding that little Santa hat to the top, kind of hanging off those little books. Let's grab the little presents, and I'm going to tuck those kind of right in the front. Right there. And then we need our little tree. And that's going to tuck right. Well, on my other one I have it tucked behind, but I must have shifted everything over just a little bit too much. So maybe we should just pop that in front this time. Make it work. So let's do a little strip of the foam tape so I can pop that up just a little bit. Just want to make sure it doesn't interrupt that fold right there. So this tree is just a little bit in front of the books. This tree is a little bit behind the books. Both totally work. Then for the front, I actually did my Santa hat twice for the front, but we could definitely do the bow. Should we do the bow on this one? How cute. Let's do the bow. We'll do the bow on the top instead of the hat this time. And then that little tiny cup of cocoa right at the bottom there. That is like the perfect thing to pair. Oh, I love that people are sharing. You do purple ink paper, we do PJ's books, movies, popcorn, and hot cocoa in a gift box, and everybody gets one to open. Then we spend the night in jammies, watching movies, eating popcorn, and drinking cocoa. Oh, I love it. I love gifts like that that are geared towards doing something cozy like that on Christmas Eve. So there's the bow on the stack of books with the little cocoa, and then we're going to put that on the front part. So this will be the part that you kind of flip open. And I'm going to do the foam tape on that one to stick that on too. You don't need a lot because it's gonna, you don't want it to overhang over here. So I think I'm gonna put my adhesive on first. Let's close that. And then set the little stack of books right on top there. How cute! I love the bow. There's that little inside piece. Stick your little gift card in like that. I do have one more thing that I can add to this. You can leave it as is like this, but if you take a look here, I've got a little bit of sparkle going on inside and outside, which is the Bits and Pieces gold holographic stars. We have silver too, but the gold is just, that is perfect for like a Christmas look, I think. You can do silver too, so whatever you want to do. I'm gonna pour a few in here. Let's see here, where I stuck stars. I'm a big copycat. Once I spent all that time arranging all of those little pieces around, I'm just gonna copy it. So I like to set my pieces in place, and then I'll go back and use the liquid adhesive to adhere them down. You can use whatever liquid adhesive you want. I love the multimedia matte. That's just my go-to. I think all of us, we always talk about this, design team members, we all like a little bit different adhesive situation. Some people like the glue press, some people like I like the multimedia matte, some people like the barely glue. I mean, everybody's just got their preferences, which is totally fine. You got to find the tools that work the best for you and stick with it. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Why aren't you sticking, Star? I feel like something's happening behind here. I'm gonna fire that star. We're gonna get a different one. I don't know what's happening. And one more tiny star, and then we'll add the little stars to the front to finish this off. So there's that sparkle. And then we need to add the sparkle here. I am just going to grab my magnet to hold that flat, because I don't want to tip things over underneath, because that won't work for sure. Do a star there, a tiny star maybe up here. Like I said, I spend a lot of time arranging little embellishments, and so I'm literally copying what I spent all that time doing. Okay, let's glue those down. Okay, my glue is not cooperating here. Hold on. That one. One more little star to go. Yes, Susan, I fired that star. I fire things quite often, actually. If it's not going my way, I'm like, done. Done, done, done. Oh, I got glitter on here somehow. It's okay. So there's that one. Actually, this star also needs to be fired. I'm doing it right now. It has glue on the front of it. That one isn't much better. But there we go. The little stars on the front, the inside, clipped it close. Guys, I'm all set. I got 2 gift card holders ready to go for the holidays. It's perfect. All right, I'm gonna flip you up to the top. We did it, you guys. The connection was great. I am so happy that I was able to join you today, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed doing the project today with the stencils, the little gift card holders, and get your stencils for 30% off. Get your paste for 30% off today. Dies are 30% off tomorrow. Don't forget, we have more videos coming for you tomorrow as well. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have fun shopping. Get all of your Christmas lists. Get it all checked off, right? So thank you guys so much, and I will see you hopefully soon. Bye-bye, everybody.